Attention passionate Washington Commanders fans. Latest news, something big is happening in the NFC East and it could change the game. We're talking about a direct impact on Washington Commanders' path to another Super Bowl run, a power shift that could leave a division rival stumbling for years. We're bringing this to you firsthand. But before that, if you're a true Washington Commanders fan, subscribe to the channel to strengthen this passion even more. Show that you're also part of this family. Let's help each other reach 1,000 subscribers. Share with YOUR, FRINDS, and Washington Commanders FANS. Let's get to the news. Now, folks, what we're about to discuss isn't just any rumor, it's something that could reshape the landscape of the NFC East and have serious ripple effects across the entire NFL. And it involves none other than Maxx Crosby, a player who has been a cornerstone of the Las Vegas Raiders' defense for years. You see, according to some very close sources to the league, including Adam Schefter, the Raiders are contemplating a bold move that could send shockwaves through the NFL. They're looking at trading Crosby, who's been a three-time Pro Bowler and one of the most relentless pass rushers in the league, in exchange for a first-round pick in 2026 and a third-rounder in 2025. Now, why would they do that? Well, it's all about cap space, rebuilding, and trying to turn things around after a rough start to the season. The Raiders are currently sitting at a record of 2-5, and their defense is leaking points, giving up an average of 26 per game. It's a defense that's desperate for a shake-up, a spark, and Crosby might just be the key to their rebuild. But here's where it gets even more interesting for us, the Washington Commanders fans. You see, with this potential trade, the Raiders are not just shipping out a star. They're also freeing up a hefty $18 million in cap space. That money could be used to extend the contract of their young quarterback, Gardner Minshew, or to acquire a promising draft pick. And for Washington, this scenario opens up some exciting possibilities. The Commanders, currently with around $26 million in cap space, are in need of a game-changing pass rusher, especially after losing Dorrance Armstrong for the season due to a torn Achilles. Armstrong's injury left a void in the defensive line, and the team has been struggling to generate consistent pressure on opposing quarterbacks. Now, Crosby, at 65 and 255 pounds, is not just a player with impressive stats, he's a game changer. He's recorded 52 sacks in his career so far with a remarkable 5 sacks and 45 pressures in 2025 alone, making him one of the top edge rushers in the league this year. His PFF grade of 91.2 in 2025 is among the best, and his ability to generate pressure, creating a pressure every 4 seconds on average, is something that can elevate any defense to elite status. Let's talk about Crosby's style and impact a little more because it's what makes him such a sought-after asset. He's a relentless motor, constantly in pursuit of the quarterback, with a max speed of 19 mph during his pursuits. That's elite speed for a player his size. His consistency is also impressive. He's only missed one game in 2024 due to a shoulder injury, and he's shown durability that's rare among edge rushers. Not to mention, his technique is top-notch. He's got a combination of power, agility, and football IQ that makes him a nightmare for offensive linemen. When you compare him to other top pass rushers like Watt or Sweat, Crosby's technique and production are right there at the top. His ability to generate pressures and win against blockers makes him a perfect fit for a team looking to boost its pass rush and overall defensive metrics. Now, why would the Raiders trade Crosby? Well, it's mostly about their financial situation. They're projected to be around $12 million over the cap in 2026, and they need to make some moves to reset their roster. They've also struggled to protect their young offensive line, allowing an average of 140 rushing yards per game, which isn't ideal for any team trying to compete. Moving Crosby not only frees up cap space, but also helps them acquire assets to draft a quarterback, possibly a top 3 pick, and rebuild their team from the ground up. It's a bold move, but one that makes sense given their current struggles and cap constraints. For the Commanders, this trade could be transformative. Imagine adding Crosby to a defense that's already showing flashes of potential, but needs that extra push to become truly dominant. His presence would instantly elevate the pass rush, turning the Washington defense from a middle-of-the-road unit into a top 5 defense. Currently, the Commanders rank around 15th in the league in sacks, averaging just 2.8 per game. With Crosby, that number could jump to over 4.0 sacks per game, and pressures could increase significantly, especially with the way he complements players like Chase Young and Montez Sweat. His ability to generate pressure would also open up more opportunities for the secondary, which has been somewhat inconsistent this year, but could benefit greatly from more turnovers and forced fumbles. Speaking of the secondary, a stronger pass rush means more turnovers. Crosby's presence could lead to an increase of about 15% in turnovers, more forced fumbles and interceptions, reducing opponents' drives and scoring opportunities. It would be a game changer for a team that desperately needs to tighten up on defense. Historically, adding elite pass rushers has had a massive impact. Look at how the trade for Mack boosted the Bears' pressure numbers by over 200 pressures in a season. Crosby's pass rush grade of 92.5 in 2025, combined with his relentless motor, makes him a force that could help the Commanders jump from a 15th-ranked defense to one of the top 8 units in the league. And let's not forget the impact on the scoreboard and playoff chances. The Commanders currently sit around a plus 3,000 odds to win the Super Bowl, but with Crosby on the roster, those odds could improve dramatically to around plus 1,200, making them a real contender in the NFC. Especially considering their division rivals like the Eagles, who are favored at plus 800, could be challenged more directly. Crosby's stamina and durability, comparable to Watt, would give the team a reliable edge rush that's crucial during the colder, more physical playoff games. Historically, Washington's struggles in the playoffs have often been linked to their inability to generate consistent pressure, but with a player like Crosby, those days could be behind them. His presence would boost their chances of making a deep postseason run, potentially elevating them from a 4-3 team projected to finish around 11-6 to a true contender. This move also has a sort of historic resonance. Think back to the Redskins' dominant defenses in the 80s, where a relentless pass rush was the hallmark of their success. The idea of bringing in a player of Crosby's caliber is reminiscent of that era, a defense that strikes fear into opponents and builds a legacy of dominance. It's a move that could define the franchise for years to come, a statement that the Commanders are serious about competing at the highest level and returning to their former glory. Now, I know some of you might be wondering about the risks. Trading a player like Crosby isn't a decision taken lightly. But if the Raiders are truly committed to rebuilding and resetting their roster, and if the Commanders can capitalize on this opportunity, it could be a win-win situation. The Commanders would be acquiring a player whose impact could be felt immediately, boosting their pass rush, reducing points allowed, and increasing their chances of playoff success. It's a bold strategy, but sometimes bold moves are what it takes to turn a good team into a great one. And with Crosby, the potential is enormous. He's not just a player. He's a game changer, a difference maker who can elevate an entire defense and consequently the entire team. So to sum it all up, this potential trade is one of the most exciting developments we've seen this season. It's about more than just acquiring a great player. It's about changing the trajectory of a franchise. For the Raiders, it's a cap and rebuild move. For the Commanders, it's a chance to punch through the ceiling and become true contenders. With Crosby's talent, durability, and relentless drive, the sky's the limit. And honestly, fans of the Commanders, you should be excited because this could be the move that finally pushes your team into serious Super Bowl contention. The NFC East is about to get even more interesting, and Washington just might be at the center of it all. Pause here just for a second. If you want the YouTube algorithm to keep recommending the latest Washington Commanders news to you, it's super important that you leave a like on this video. Go ahead, it's quick and it makes a big difference. Thank you. Now let us continue with the big reveal. And now, Washington Commanders fans, I want to hear from you. What's your take on this potential blockbuster trade? Do you think Crosby will make that much of a difference? Would you be excited to see him in burgundy and gold? Drop your thoughts in the comments below because your opinion matters so much to us and to the team. This kind of move could be the catalyst for a new era, one where the Commanders are no longer just a team fighting to stay relevant but a true force in the NFL landscape. And don't forget, I'll be back soon with more updates, more insights, and all the latest news on the Washington Commanders. So stay tuned, stay passionate, and let's keep this conversation going. Thanks for watching, and as always, let's go Commanders.